So this video is going to be called Confessions of a Japanese Language Major, which I was. My major in college was Japanese Language and Literature with a minor in Political Science. So today I'm kind of going to go over some questions that I get a lot, not only from people who are in college now thinking about, majoring in Japanese, but also questions that I get from people here who didn't study Japanese in college and studied something else. Do you feel like majoring in Japanese prepared you to live in Japan? Yes, I absolutely do. As far as the Japanese language goes, if you major in Japanese, you go far beyond the survival Japanese, and you should be able to at least express your somewhat deep thoughts, somewhat deep emotions. Now, it's not always going to feel natural, obviously, because it's not your first language, but you'll be able to express yourself. You'll be able to communicate enough to where you can make friends. But that being said, it's like when you get here, the training wheels have to come off. You can be in Japan. People are like, oh, so you live in Japan, you're just going to become fluent. That's just what it is. But no, that's not the case at all. As someone who's a major, I feel like I have a responsibility to continue studying and to never stop learning, especially as long as I'm here. To me, the language is the bridge to a deeper relationship with someone. No matter how much you might think someone is nice, if you can't really speak to them, if you can't really communicate your thoughts and emotions, your feelings to each other, you can't be friends. So yeah, I mean, not only like the survival Japanese, but majoring in Japanese should absolutely equip you with how to exist using only Japanese if you had to. Okay, so one question is it difficult? Is studying Japanese difficult? Yes. I don't know how else to answer that. In terms of, is it difficult as a major in college? I don't suppose it's automatically any more difficult than any other subject you decide to major in. But I can tell you that there were many times when I questioned, why did I choose this? I was thinking like, maybe I should have minored in Japanese and majored in something else. It's difficult, but not impossible. That's the key. Will you continue to study Japanese? Well, yes. As a matter of fact, I have never studied Japanese more diligently than I am now, because I realized how useful it is not only to know something, but to know something to where you don't need your dictionary, to know something where you don't always have to look up the kanji. So you see, that was my problem in college, because I'm always like, kanji is just not my thing. Or it's like, conversation, yeah, as long as they understand what I'm saying, I'll get the point across. Well, it's like, at some point you need to graduate from that frame of mind. In college, I studied kanji to pass a test, whereas now I study kanji because I want to be able to look at something and be able to read it and understand it. So living here teaches you how incredibly valuable and useful it is to be bilingual. Do you watch hentai or other anime porn? No, I don't. I used to, absolutely, when I was in middle school, in high school, but I don't watch any porn at all now. I officially quit. Even when I did watch porn, I stopped watching anime porn after high school. So, personally. Did you move to Japan for the girls? No, I actually was with a Japanese American girl back home, and America's so diverse, you don't need to move to another country to be with someone of a different race. That being said, we all have our preferences. But I will say, it is true that when you have feelings for someone who does not speak your native language, it is a huge motivation. I had a crush on this one girl from my church. Still kind of do. Anyways, she got a boyfriend. Doesn't matter. I had a crush on her, and then I was like, I'm studying, and I was really focusing on conversation. I'm like, I want to get better at conversation. I want to talk to her. I want to go out with her, and this and that. It was a huge motivation. Now, obviously, that can't be your only motivation, because once you get the girl or once you get the guy, your motivation's done, right? Because why else improve? Because they already like you. Let's see, what else is there? Why did you decide to major in Japanese? Well, I went to community college for about 2 years, undecided, just taking my prerequisites. And there was a point in my life where, and I'll probably make another video about this in more detail, but there's a point in my life where I had a big shift in attitude. So I used to be super pessimistic, super moody. My philosophy throughout high school was, As long as I pass, it's okay. I don't really care. The C's get degrees mentality. And I brought that with me in my first year of college. In my second year of college, I started kind of changing. Met some really good people that kind of influenced me for the better. Started listening to certain people online that influenced me for the better, and I realized like I can do anything I put my mind to. With that mindset, I thought back to having learned Japanese for 2 years in high school and absolutely hating it. Now, I hated it not because it was not interesting, but I hated it because it was difficult. I just thought like, oh, I'm not smart. But obviously that's not true. Like, sure, I'm probably not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm not stupid, you know? I can do whatever I put my mind to. So it was then that I decided, you know what? Not only am I gonna study Japanese again, but I'm gonna major in it. Like, I'm really gonna try and do this all the way. Like, it would be really awesome to become fluent in Japanese. I really wanted to serve in a local church here. I wanted to make deep connections with people. And obviously, being good at Japanese is the only way to do that. I wasn't necessarily thinking of it in terms of, like, getting a job. Now more than ever, even though I have a job over here, I'm thinking, what am I going to do after JET and, you know, that kind of thing. You know, when I decided to major in Japanese, it wasn't a career-oriented decision. I don't think it's dumb to major in Japanese. It might not be the most expedient in terms of career, but it's definitely not bad. Am I going to pursue Japanese in a higher education, or am I going to pursue higher education in another field, or am I just going to work from now and not go back to school? I'm not sure yet. Oh yeah, here's a good one. What is the worst part about studying Japanese? The worst part about studying Japanese? I mean, if you're talking in terms of like, okay, what's the worst part about studying? What do I like the least about studying? It's gotta be kanji. Most people are gonna say kanji, I think. Some people love it, most of us hate it. But if we're not talking about in terms of like our least favorite aspect of the language, then I would say my least favorite part about studying Japanese is knowing that there's people out there that were raised with both languages that can do what I want to do way easier than I can do it. So I guess that's kind of the worst part. You have Japanese kids here who are studying English so hard, and they see some Hafu kid, they're like, oh, this kid speaks both and he's so lucky. And, you know, us English speakers who are studying Japanese have the same thoughts. Why even study Japanese when someone who was raised with both languages is going to be able to do a better job than me? But that's not necessarily true. Maybe true in some aspects, but not in all aspects. And you can do whatever you put your mind to. That's the important thing. Advice for people studying Japanese. Okay, this is going to be very cliche. I'll make another video about like specific study habits and of what has been working for me. The advice I'll give you right now, you're going to hate me, but my advice is never give up. This is coming from someone who gave up once and had to make up a lot of ground. So even after 2 years in high school, I started over in college and I wasted time in high school. That's because I was a quitter. So don't be a quitter. If it's something that you want to do, give it everything you've got. I mean, that applies to anything in life. No matter what you want to do, no matter how difficult it is, no matter if you see someone next to you doing it better than you, just put everything you have into it and you won't regret putting your time into it. That's my philosophy. That's where I am right now. I don't regret putting the time I've put into it because I've worked so hard. Even if I'm not the best at it, and there's a million other people who can do it better than me, at the end of the day, I'm pretty darn good. And I know it's because I've been working so hard. If you like this video, don't hesitate to subscribe. If you're majoring in Japanese, maybe make a response video or post a comment. Thanks for stopping by. See ya. Or see you, as we say here in Japan.